And I'm Shafali. In a devastating air accident, Air India Flight 171, a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner crashed jet 34 seconds after takeoff from Ahmedabad on June 12, killing nearly all 242 people on board and several on the ground, with a total death toll approaching 270. A preliminary investigation report released by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau reveals that the crash occurred because both engines shut down moments after liftoff, following the unintentional movement of the engine fuel control switches from the run to the cutoff position. Now, according to the reports, within 3 seconds of takeoff, both switches that control the fuel supply to the aircraft's engine were moved to cut off, which effectively starved the engines of fuel and caused an immediate loss of power. Now, flight data and cockpit voice recording suggest that the action was unintentional and caused confusion in the cockpit. One of the pilots is heard asking, "Why did you cut off?" To which the another responded, "I did not do so," indicating possible miscommunication or accidental switch activation. Now, both switches were returned to run position almost immediately after the engines shut down, and the engine's parameters showed a rise in exhaust gas temperature, which may have been an attempt to restart the engines. However, the aircraft had already lost critical altitude and speed, and the relight efforts were unsuccessful in preventing the crash. The aircraft was being flown by First Officer Kav Kunder, while Captain Sumit Sabharwal, the more senior pilot with over 8,600 hours on the Boeing 787, was acting as the monitoring pilot. First Officer Kunder has accumulated over 1,100 hours on the aircraft type. The investigation confirmed that both pilots were well rested before the flight and there were no signs of fatigue or unfitness for duty. Additionally, weather conditions at the time were clear and the aircraft's takeoff weight was within acceptable limits. The report also notes that in 2018, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration issued a special airworthiness information bulletin that warned all the potential for the fuel control switch-looking mechanism to before disengaged. Now, however, the bulletin was advisory rather than mandatory, and Air India did not carry out all the suggested inspection or corrective measures. Now, despite this, the aircraft and its GEnx 1B engines were in compliance with all mandatory airworthiness directives and service bulletins at the time of the flight. The investigation is still ongoing, and the AAIB stated that it will continue reviewing evidence, including cockpit procedures, mechanical systems, and maintenance records. Now, at this stage, there is no safety recommendation for Boeing 787-8 operations or the engine manufacturer, though further findings may result in new guidance. Air India, in a statement posted on social media, said it remains deeply saddened by the loss and is working closely with regulatory bodies and stakeholders during the investigation. The incident has raised serious questions about procedural safeguards, cockpit coordination, and the importance of acting on even non-mandatory advisories that may affect safety-critical systems. That's all for now on this update. Stay tuned to The Savera, download the app and follow us on various social media platforms.